In a previous video, I stressed how squeezes are more likely to work when there is only a single guard card in each threat suit, or when a long suit can only be guarded by a single opponent. If there is only the one guard card in the suit with the entry, how do you decide whether to take the finesse or play for the squeeze? If you don't know anything else about the hand, you should prefer the finesse. It will work whenever the onside opponent holds a single specific card, which happens half the time. The squeeze, in comparison, requires either opponent to hold two specific cards, which has less than a 50% chance of success due to the principle of vacant places. And for squeezes where we can only satisfy condition U against a single opponent, this is reduced to less than 1 in 4. These last situations, moreover, are typically the ones in which the only possible squeeze victim is the person who would be finessed, and so playing for the finesse is usually better. The finesse requires that they have a specific card, and the squeeze requires that they have that same specific card, but also something else in addition. There is a small exception to this, in which playing for the squeeze is preferred over taking a finesse against that same opponent. That's called a show-up squeeze, and we'll discuss it in more detail a couple videos from now. For the moment, just know that, in most cases, playing for the squeeze requires everything that playing for the finesse requires, but also extra stuff, so the finesse is usually preferred, but there is nuance here. So, if finesses are more likely than squeezes to work, when should you try for the squeeze? If the bidding or earlier play makes you suspect that the finesse is off, many squeezes can still succeed against the opponent that is offside for the finesse, and in those cases they should be preferred. Similarly, if the threat card in the suit with the entry is in the hand with the squeeze card, so that the UE exception applies, there is no straightforward finesse, and the squeeze might be the only option to try. As another variation, if the guard card in the suit with the entry is a long holding with a stopper rather than a single high card, then no finesse is possible in the first place, so of course we'll prefer the squeeze. This was the case for all the examples I gave in which one of our threat suits had 6 cards including the ace, king, and queen. Those situations in which the opponents have a stopper that prevents us from running a long suit are where squeezes really shine. We teach beginners about finesses because they're easier to understand and are more likely to succeed. Squeezes are more of an intermediate topic because they're only preferred when no finesse is available or when you have reason to think that the finesse isn't going to work. Squeezes are fun to perform, but they are not as common or as reliable as the more basic techniques like finesses. Only go for a squeeze if you don't have anything easier that seems likely to work.